Today's Saturday, March 4th, 2017. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our On the Grill Part 2 for Survivor Game Changers.
That's right. This is your turn, your opportunity to weigh in on what you think about this season, the cast, make some predictions, who's going to win, who's going to be a Final Four, who's going to be the first out, who do you like, who do you not like, who do you not care about, all that good stuff.
Who does Joanne need to choose for her USB 24?
Yeah, you keeping an open mind?
I'm trying.
Yes. Hey, before we get too far into it, let's make sure to cover for our fantasy league, what we call the JSFL, that you need to make sure to make 2 vote-off picks because it's basically going to be a double episode. So we'll be interviewing 2 people on Thursday. We got to make 2 vote-off picks. So if you've already made your picks, make sure to double back in there.
You know, have that at the wrap-up.
I didn't see it in the wrap-up, but I thought it wouldn't hurt to mention it at the top and the bottom. Top and the bottom. The beginning and the...
I think that's
You ready for the middle?
I'm ready.
All right, let's jump in. Pete's got some views for us on this cast.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. And with Survivor Game Changers back, I'm going to yell out a big woo! Woo! Hoo! Baby, I'm looking forward to this new season of returnees. Some I like, some I don't like. I know it's always iffy with returning players, but I think this is going to shape up to be a great season. I love what they're doing with the idol. That is going to be crazy. Imagine if someone finds it a tribal. Oh my God, that's going to be nuts. Completely and totally nuts. Well, but let's see these players. Haley, oh, why are you there, Haley? What did you do? Sierra Dawn, all right, under the radar, but still, I still don't know what you guys did. Sandra, loudmouth Sandra, oh my. Stacy, I think you're right with her. She got real lucky those 2 seasons she won. I mean, the Outcast twist with that cost Savage the game helped her win, I feel, the Pearl Island season. And I think Poverty should have won the Heroes Villain season. But she's back and she's doing something right. I feel Tony is the one that's going to have it the hardest, along with Sierra Easton and Cerie, because I think those 3 are arguably the biggest threats who seem trying to make moves too early. But who knows? Varna, too, I'm a little bit skeptical with. I'm hoping he lays low and he aligns with the right people, but he's going to be seen as a challenge liability. We'll see with that. And I'm looking forward to the big guns like Ozzy and Malcolm, Caleb, who will all be some challenges. But I want to see how good Caleb's strategy is, and Ozzy, maybe he'll do better as a social player. That's what he needs to win the game. Troyzan, I don't know what Troyzan did other than irritate those women, especially Kim Spradlin. This is my island. Blah, blah, blah. Just like Cocky Malcolm listening to his thing. Good luck, Troyzan and Malcolm. Jeez. Zeke, looking forward to seeing Zeke and Michaela. Zeke I'm a little more worried about because he was another big-time strategist. He's going to, I think, lay a little bit low, too, because he's got that Russell Hantz vibe that everyone's thinking about. Same, actually, with Michaela, but I think Michaela could make it farther than Zeke. I really do. I think she'll make the merge. And then Culpepper, man, what did Brad Culpepper do to get back on? He didn't even make the jury either, man. But who knows? Maybe he'll lay low, and people will drag him to the end, and he'll be a scapegoat. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll surprise us. But I think this is going to be a great game-changing season, guys. I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say. And what do you think of that no more revote thing if there's a tie? I like it. Take care, guys. Woo!
An extra woo at the end. Thanks, Pete. Well, the reason Culpepper got back on is because he played in the NFL, and Probst is just a sucker for pro athletes. Certainly the alphas that are so outspoken like Brad is. So what do you think about the change to the tie vote? Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. I think the game changer moniker is going to be, it seems like it's going to be more appropriate for how they're going to run the game. They're going to be making changes to the game than necessarily the whatever this group offered in the context of being game changers. Well, yeah, because totally you see people like Sandra and Sierra Easton, they're not afraid to draw a rock. I mean, Sierra's not afraid to draw a rock. Sandra would probably switch, just go, yeah, I don't care as long as it's not me. Okay, fine. Here's a vote. Get rid of whoever. I don't care. Right. So they'd kind of come in at different, whereas we know Sierra will draw rocks, no problem. No problem. Or she did last time. We know that she has. Yeah. And it's not necessarily your smartest choice. I'm willing to do it. Right? Well, that's true. But now, I wonder if it will be any different because of this change. It's like, you don't have a revote cushion. Yeah. It's like either agree or draw rocks. Along with the how they're changing the game up, like Pete alluded to, I'm looking forward to seeing how the theme affects their choices in the game, because the theme can mess with them. We've seen that before, definitely. Clearly. Excellent. Great to hear from you again, Pete. Good job. I think it will mess with them. Next up, we've got an email from Nicola in Lexington, Kentucky. Hello, everyone. It's been a long, seemingly extra long time since we sat around the hearth and discussed our favorite show, Turnies. I am a fan of Survivor over no Survivor. I hope everyone's well. I had a rough start to the year when my 9-year-old lab, Sophie, became ill just after Christmas, and I had to make that tough decision in January. For 2 weeks, I laid with her in my bed or on the living room floor, and we watched old seasons of Survivor. I'll miss her by my side as we start this season, but as we all know, the right thing's not always the easy thing. That's true. On to happier things. I'm going to get a jump start to On the Grill before I start hearing too much about who, what, why from all the sources. So this is just a quick rundown from the roster that Paul posted. On the Mana tribe, Aubrey, yay. Caleb, okay, I guess you get to go again. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Sierra, no, just no. Please be first off. Sadly, I doubt it. Haley, who? Game changer? I had to look her up. Jeff, yay. Malcolm, okay. Michaela, yay. Sandra, yay in my book. I know some people are tired of seeing her, and I'm sure she'll have a huge target on her back. Tony, nope. Troyzan, no. On the Nuku tribe, Andrea, really? Brad, no. Please just no. Sari, yay. Same as Sandra, big target. Debbie, hug. JT, okay. Ozzy, so over him. Sarah, who? Sierra, double who? Ty, okay. Zeke, yay. Looking forward to some great challenges again in this fabulous location. Can't wait to hear from everyone. Joanna Stacy, as always, thanks for all you do. Cheers, Nicola. Thanks, Nicola. Yeah, we're sorry for your loss. Absolutely. Yep, fully understand that. Okay, moving on. We got a call from Jen. Let's see what Jen has to say about this cast and this theme. I think the theme got to her a little bit.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California. This off-season has seemed very long for me, so it's just great to be back and talking about Survivor again. Okay, so I'm just going to start off by saying that the theme for this season I've really been struggling with a lot. Calling this season Game Changers invites huge expectations right off the bat. And when I looked at the cast, I think they got it right with several of the cast members. But then the rest of the contestants that they chose just really kind of seems to me like a disorganized hodgepodge of anybody they could get. Definitely not game changers. So that's it for that. I'm going to be in my own private struggle with this all season. Okay, as I look at Paul's roster, I take that back. I lied. I'm going to go on about it a little longer. The people I think here looking at it are who are game changers, who I think have earned their spot here by doing something in the game that was really great, was maybe Aubrey. Malcolm was a great person to watch. Sierra, Sandra, Tony, and Sari. People who are here because they were good players or intriguing players, I would say that's Michaela, JT, Zeke, and Ozzy. And Ty even. Ty made some tough decisions, and he was fascinating to watch. Glaring question marks for me are like Caleb, Haley, Brad, Andrea. I mean, some of those I'm happy to see back, but I don't look at them and see game changer. And I don't buy Jeff Probst's comments about how they wanted to be game changers. That doesn't fly with me. You're either a game changer or you weren't. And there's no disgrace in that. I mean, they played Survivor. They are one up on me, so I give them all the props in the world, but I don't like the title of this season. Okay, now that I've taken 2/3 of my time obsessing over the theme for this year, let's see if I can come up with a few predictions. I like Aubrey's chances. I'm glad to see her back. She's in a good position too. There are bigger fish to fry, and I'm certainly not wondering why she's here. I'm going to be fascinated to see what happens with Sandra. I think that it could go either way for her, but I'm going to be pulling for her. Love her or hate her as a player, she's gotten to the end twice and she's won twice, so I'm always going to be happy to see her back and see how she maneuvers through the game. If they let her, if the contestants let her maneuver through the game, more power to her. They probably shouldn't, but I'm just going to love to see that unfold. Haley intrigues me. I'm interested to see what she will do now that they've brought her back. I'm considering her for a USB. She's kind of a question mark for me, and I think that she will be for the other players too. I think Tony, Sari, and Sandra are going to have a difficult time maneuvering in the initial parts of the game, but if they can make it through the first couple of vote outs and form some solid bonds, I think all of them can be a force. Former winner with the best shot, I think, is JT. I'm always pulling for Malcolm, but I really think the dark horse of this season is Haley. I'm going to keep my eyes on her, and she just might be my USB. So that's it for me. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad everybody else is back, and here's to another great season of Survivor. Because no matter who they put out there, whether it's a season of new players or a season of returners or a mixture of both, I'm always happier when I have Survivor to look forward to during the week. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Hi, Joanna, Stacy again. Just an interesting fact that provides a little bit of insight into the beginning of the game. I don't know if anybody follows Dalton Ross on Instagram, but he had each contestant write down who they would want to be the first out of the game and why. And if anyone's interested in that, should provides a little bit of a fascinating peek into everybody's mindset before they go out onto the beach. I had a lot of fun watching those pictures come up and just see who each player is targeting right off the bat. Anyway, that's it. Till next week. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Jen. Great to have you back. Have you seen that?
No.
All right, we'll have to add the link to the show notes here so other folks.
Yeah, I would like to see it, but I also know that once they know who's on their tribe, some of that's going to be different.
It
just
depends.
For the fact
what if they all pick one person?
Well, true.
Yeah.
But if that person's not on their tribe, then that changes their line of thinking.
As long as that person goes, then
they'll still be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Good deal. Thanks, Jen. We understand your struggle with the theme, but I think we'll find other ways to look at it, and it'll end up not bugging us too much, hopefully. Next up, we got a call from Samantha.
This is Samantha, a.k.a. Survivor Rocks from Texas. I've been excited for this season to get here for a long time. I was more into this season starting than last season's game. I love my veterans, and it's going to be a great season on Survivor Game Changers. My first reaction was that the winners were going to be the ones to go early, just like on Survivor All-Stars. But I hope that I'm wrong on that. Come on, don't make it that easy. Aubrey is sharper, wiser, very witty. Don't trust her. Caleb, valuable to his tribe. Sierra, a threat to reckon with. She's a real risk taker. Too risky, too scary. Haley, forgettable, but underestimated. Jeff Varner. Now, I love this guy. I had high hopes last time. Too high. I set the bar too high. So right now, my expectations are very low. But I'd like to see that different Jeff, and he will be enjoyable to watch and cheer for sure, just like the last time. I'd like to pick him again for USB and take that risk. He's that much fun to watch and to root for. Jeff, you're just now figuring out that making friends with everyone is key. He's got the personality and the ability to pull it off successfully. Malcolm. A bro alliance if he gets the chance with Ozzy. Gotta love him. Loved him from day one. Still do. He is very charming. Michaela, I love this girl, and she has learned from her mistakes. And I don't think being unknown will hurt her game. I can see her butting heads with Sandra. Being the unknown castaway could see her exit the game sooner than later, because the unknown is just scary, and she would be an easy first boot. However, I don't think that anything about this season is going to be easy. Sandra, my queen, love her, but Sandra, you will lose your crown, but she will go down fighting. Tony is a bigger threat than Sandra, but he too will meet his demise. I love Tony, and he's great. I'd like to see both of them last as long as possible, though. I can't wait to see Sarah and Tony get together. Sarah will get duped. Don't trust Tony. It's my island. I am a Troy Sand fan, and I would like to see him play again. Andrea, I've always liked Andrea, and I'm hoping that she does get into some sort of alliance with Suri and help Suri out. Suri comes in this game with her mindset just right, coming in fresh, but others are still going to see her as old Suri, the threat, and that she is, hoping that she can survive even though she is a huge threat. I'd like Suri to take the crown. Suri just might get her foot in the door this time around, and it's her time to shine. I don't like Brad. Never have. But I do like Monaco. I do see him getting into a strong alliance, though. Now, I'd like to see JT get his redemption, but being a previous winner will hurt his game. Ozzy is there to win, but his motions on the past could be his demise. Do not get stuck in the past. Look at the bigger picture, just like Ty. Now, Ty grew on me, but I'm still not really a Ty fan. Listen to your gut, but don't play with your heart. Check those emotions at the door. Zeke surprised me his first time around, and I expect this time to be no different. Now, I liked him more and more as the game progressed and became a fan the last time around. Sierra Thomas is under the radar. She just doesn't stand out in my mind as a survivor great. She would be that easy first boot. Debbie, now I'm not a fan. I'd rather have seen this spot go to another. But Debbie will be the one that everyone goes to and wants to pull into their alliance. Debbie will probably be around for a while. My strongest reactions were to Sari, Jeff Varner, Zeke, and Arbery. And until Wednesday, Survivor Rock signing off.
Both Samantha and Jen are making good points about how when you've got such a domineering group of folks here, just standout folks, it does potentially improve the chances of Sierra, Dawn Thomas, and Haley, because they can play the middle in that mix. And even further down, not even the lower middle or something like that.
Yeah, they've got big shields.
To hide behind, and they're not going to be the focus. They're not anyone's focus, so in a way, that may be an advantage. Okay, ladies, you got me thinking.
Of course, on the other hand, it could also make them an easy vote off, but I lean more toward they're just going to have a lot of shields in front of them.
Yeah, so they're a somewhat known quantity. They don't have the X factor that Michaela and Zeke have that make them potentially less trusted as unknown in the context of the game. Good job. Thanks, Samantha. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Park from Indiana. I'm super excited about this season. The Mana Tribe, you have Aubrey, who I'm really excited to see again. I loved Aubrey her first season, but she's a big threat, so I don't know how far she'll make. Caleb, big question mark. We don't know his game, but I did like him. I thought he was cool to watch. It'll be really interesting to see what his strategic game is, if he has any at all. Sierra, why is she back again? She's overrated to me. I would have preferred to see Kelly Wentworth, or if you want to stick with the Eastons, I would have preferred to see Laura. I don't want to see Sierra back. I don't want to hear Jeff constantly talking about how she voted out her mom. Because didn't her mom want her to do that? And she gets all the credit for the rock draw, but Hayden was the one that was like, you're on the bottom of that alliance. You need to do something about it. And Sierra waited too long to actually do something about it. And in Cambodia, she just sat around and let Kelly do all the work. Haley, next is Jeff Varner. I'm so excited to see him back. Will he win? Probably not. But, man, he's entertaining. I'm so happy he's back. Malcolm, again, really happy he's back. Can he win? Hopefully. Michaela, she's a question mark for me because she talked a big game in Millennials vs. Gen X, but I didn't really see that. And I'm hoping I will because I kind of like her. Sandra, no, terrible. She won twice. She should have won the second time. I don't like Sandra. Tony, wonderful, amazing. Let's hope Tony dethrones Sandra and we can have King TV. He's my winner pick. He probably isn't good, but I love him. So next is Troy Van. Enough said. Nuku Tribe. Andrea. I like Andrea. She could do better, and I hope she does this time. Brad Culpepper. He's Brad Culpepper. Cherie. I'm so happy Cherie's back. Can she win? I don't think so. I think she's going to be really early out, and I'm really sad about it. But she's too good. If these people are smart, they'll vote her out early. Debbie is insane, and JT, really excited to see him back. He had a perfect game of Tocantins. People take that away from him because of what he did in his first zone. Ozzy is Ozzy. You know, his strategy is win challenge, repeat. Sarah, we didn't really see much of Sarah. And I'm happy she's not on the same tribe as Tony because I don't want to see that annoying, Sarah-Tony rivalry again if they continue to rival against each other. The other Sierra, she didn't really do much, but I think if she plays her cards right, she could go far. Ty, he's not that great strategically, but he's fun to watch, and I'm happy he's back. Zeke, I like Zeke. I really do. I wish David was back instead of Zeke, but Zeke is good, and I really hope that Zeke doesn't get voted out because of that unknown factor. Malcolm had it and Kerry Moen, he didn't, but he's with Michaela, so Malcolm will probably align with Michaela, but Zeke, he's not with anybody who went back-to-back, and so I really hope he doesn't get voted out early. I'm just really excited about this season, and can't wait to get my friends hooked on this new season of Survivor.
Thanks, Parker. I like Parker's summary about Sierra Easton, too, and I think that encapsulates her history and gives you another way to look at it as opposed to how Prope sells it. And when he said he would prefer David over Zeke, you were looking around. He's talking about little skinny David from last season. The writer, David. You're clueless. You've already forgotten David. The klutz. He couldn't do anything right. He's goofing up challenges, kicking the ball across the platform instead of picking it up in that water challenge.
David.
How have you forgotten David?
I don't know. Have you forgotten the brain fog that I have?
Okay. You got a little fog from the meds.
I cannot see him in my head.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll slap my forehead when I see his picture and go, oh, of course.
You got her good, Parker.
But right now I'm just like,
she's already filed him away.
David. Who's David?
Made the fake idol.
Oh, okay.
At the end, remember he made the fake idol?
Yeah, I remember somebody made a fake idol, but I still can't see his face. He's in a fog.
All right.
I cannot see his face.
All right. We'll clear that up for you, but we got to get through this right now.
Okay. We remember to show me David.
All right. Thanks, Parker. Next up, we got an email from Saundra in Ontario, Canada.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and my Survivor friends. I was so happy to hear your voices today. Happy to have you both back and sending you both my love. Thank you so much, Saundra. I totally agree with Joanne. Yes! I don't care what it's about. Yes.
Just celebrate.
Okay. I totally agree with Joanne about the castaway that I will not name. I, too, feel like they are shoving him down my throat. I have no idea who I'm going to pick as my USB. I really want Sandra to win, but these people would be crazy for her to get to the end. I love Cerie, but I think she is a pre-merge boot, sadly. I love Jeff, but man, I don't see how he's going to make it to the past the merge.
Yeah.
In fact, the only people I see making it to the end are the ones who laid low in past seasons, which isn't who I want to win. Sigh. I can't wait for the show to start. It might just be a wild and bumpy ride.
I like that. She's got remorse over something that hadn't happened, just like Parker. Parker is so sad that he thinks Cerie's going to be voted out already.
All right. Thanks so much, Saundra.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we got a call from Aaron, calling in from South Korea.
Hello, Joanne and Stacey. Hello, Survivor fans. This is Aaron, currently in Busan, South Korea. Excited to talk about Survivor Game Changers. Thank you, Paul, for your lovely roster because it's helping me so much. So, Mana, we have Aubrey, I think she's going to be a lot more confident in herself. I'm just worried that because she's so fresh in people's minds, she might be the immediate scapegoat. Caleb is interesting because I think him going out early in Korong helped him. I don't think he's going to be as much of a good guy or hero as I think he's going to be more BB16 Caleb, which was, yeah. I'm not really excited for that. Sierra, if she can calm down and really control her game, I think she's doing some things right. She just needs to be less vocal about making big moves. And if she can not say that as much, I think she's going to be a lot more likable and a lot more capable of getting to the end. Haley, I think she'll do surprisingly well. Jeff is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I think a lot of people are going to underestimate his ability to play the game, and I think that might be to his advantage. If only he can escape the few votes and not be voted out as a challenge liability, I think he'll go far. Malcolm is set up so well. He was on a season that was years ago. People aren't really as familiar with him as much as they should be. I think he'll definitely go far. Michaela, I think she'll definitely prove in the first few days that she's probably not there for being a strategic threat and maybe more of a challenge person. I think she'll be able to ingratiate herself well and make it far. Sandra, I've done podcasts on her. I love her so much, so I'm very worried for her. I think she's in danger, but I think she can do it. Tony, you know what? I'm excited for Tony, but I'm also really worried for Tony, and because he's so visible and doing those big stick things, he's going to be so visible. Troyzan, we may share last name, but I don't know what he's going to bring. I hope he does bring it, though. Nuku, Andrea, I'm kind of rooting for her not to win. I don't really know. I don't know. I just never really got into her, and I might pick her as my USB just so that she doesn't win because my USBs have not won in a while. So, Brad Culpepper, a lot of people are excited to see him back. I actually do. I think he can bring a lot to the table. Sari, I felt so bad for her in Heroes versus Villains, but I think she can recover and do well here. I hope that she and Sandra don't clash. I think they will probably, though. But I really want to see her and Sandra go far, and it breaks my heart to the same season because I would love to see them both win. They can't, so. Debbie, I think she's in way over her head this season. She has shown us that she can be strategically competent and really good at the game, as we saw with that Liz vote. If that early Debbie can come back and not post-merge Debbie, I think she'll do a lot better. JT is an interesting case because I think a lot of people are going to underestimate him because of his move in Heroes vs. Villains. However, I don't think anybody should be sleeping on JT, and he should be one of the first people that they go after. But I don't think people will, and I think he'll get far because of that, and even possibly win. Ozzy, he has a very good social game and a very good athletic game. Strategically, I don't know. But I think he will make it far again, even though I don't want him to. Sarah, maybe she might go early, actually. Sierra, I think between her and Haley, Sierra has a better chance of making it further in this game. She's the Amber, she's the Parvati, she's the Kelly Wentworth. I think she's going to be the one that far and possibly wins. Ty, I'm very worried for Ty. Zeke, I'm also very worried for Zeke. He's very good at the game, but I think people are going to think he's on some Russell level simply because it's game changers, and they just brought him and Michaela back. And I think between the two of them, he's probably the more likely to be seen as, he's dangerous because he must have done something big. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm very excited for this season, and I cannot wait to hear what everybody else has to say. All right, bye, Joanna and Stacey. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Aaron. Good job. Next up, we got a call from BrandonA.
Hey, what's up, Joanna, Stacey, and Survivor fans? Brandon from Cleveland. Finally back. I know I've been so bad with keeping up and giving feedback throughout the seasons, these last couple of seasons, but I'm going to try to go a full season with being consistent with bringing feedback and keeping up with the podcast. I'm excited about this upcoming season, and let me just go right into my assessments. Of course, by the way, yes, I'll be in the challenge again this year. Can't stop, won't stop. First, Andrea Belke, my USB, and I don't care if you don't like her, Stacey. I love me some Andrea, and I'm not confident in this pick at all, but I'm picking it because I'm rooting for her. I love me some Andrea. So let's go. Brad Culpepper. I'm so excited to see him back. It's not that I'm a fan of Brad Culpepper, but he is great TV, and I'm just fully embracing the train wreck that we're about to see coming. I'm going to love it. Awesome. Aubrey. Really like Aubrey. Think she has a good shot, but I think her as well, a couple other people I mentioned, they definitely got big targets on their back, so I'm kind of scared for her, but I'd like to see her do well. Caleb, I'm meh about. Don't hate, don't love. Love me some Sierra Easton, but I think she's going home early for sure this time. She's a threat, and she's not great in challenges, so I think that's going to be a no. JT, I'm anxious to see what he's going to do. I actually kind of liked his game in Heroes versus Villains. I thought he actually controlled that Heroes tribe and kind of was the driving force of bringing them back to make it 5-5 at the merge. But then he just made a super dumb mistake. So, but at least he was going for it, so I like that about him. Sari, love me some Sari, but I think it's kind of that same thing with the Aubrey, strategic threat, really good, but could be a target early. So we'll see if she ends up like a winner candidate or whether she ends up like somebody like Sierra, who I think is going to go home early. Love me some Jeff Varner, glad to see him back. It can go either way with him. Love me some Debbie. Oh my gosh, that confessional that she said about Joe, we need to move with the purpose and we need to do it now. That might be my favorite confessional in Survivor history. Love Debbie. Don't expect her to win. Malcolm, I'm not a huge Malcolm guy, but he could do well. I'm kind of expecting him to do well this year. Haley, I think she's going to go far just because of the unknown factor. Can't stand Ozzy. Moving on. Michaela Bradshaw, love me some Michaela. I think she's going to finish around what she did last year, honestly, but I hope she does better. I like her. Ty, you got to love Ty. He's, adorable, but at the same time, I think he might go home early this time. I don't think nobody's going to like that wishy-washy reputation, so I don't know. Love me some Sandra, love me some Tony, glad they're back, but I can't see them making it past the merge. There's no way. I can't see it happening. Sarah, she'd probably be my second pick for a winner, but I picked her last time, so I can't do it this time. Troy Zan, bye. Pierre Don Thomas, whatever. And Zeke. I like Zeke, but I don't know. He might be a little bit too full of himself for me, so I don't know. But I'm anxious to see what happens. I'm probably way over 3 minutes already. So I will talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Good job, Brandon. You got through them.
Halfway through that, I saw David. So how could I forget David?
Little goofy David.
I know.
Okay.
I don't know why I couldn't see him.
All right. Well, like you said, it might be the meds.
Well, that's true. But I'll be
Excellent.
glad to get off those.
Okay. Good job, Brandon. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
You see how slow I am? Halfway through the
Next up, we got a call from Jack. Let's see what Jack's thinking about this season.
Hi, Joanne, Stacy, and all you Survivor fans out there. I hope you guys had a great break, but now we are back, and after looking at this newest cast and everything, I am more excited than ever to see this new season of Survivor. We have some great players this year, and so let's get to my feedback. So on the Mono or Power Tribe, the few castaways that stood out to me were Caleb, Sierra, Michaela, Sandra, and Tony. I, for one, am glad to see Caleb back for another shot, and I think he has a really good chance of actually winning. So after this, looking at the rest of these players, it might be difficult, but I think he can still do it. He'll easily make it to the merge, in my opinion. And if I remember this correctly, Sierra is quite sneaky and should be a threat to watch out for. As for Sandra and Tony, they both won, so they might have a really big target on their back, but I can see Sandra surviving a little bit longer than Tony because Tony has some crazy antics, and by watching the pre-Survivor videos with everyone, a lot of castaways seem to be leery and afraid of him because of his sneakiness. While looking at the other tribe, the Nuka or Stand tribe, the standouts from there, to me, would be Ozzy, Debbie, Ty, and Zeke. I remember that Ozzy was amazing at most of the challenges, but always got voted out near the end. Debbie was nuts the first time around, and I think by watching the pre-show videos and stuff, it could happen again this time. When Ty first played, I absolutely loved his gameplay and everything, but by knowing he's back, I don't know what to expect from him this time around. I hope he does well, but I just don't see, with all the other players, how he would be able to play. And I also don't know what he did make him a so-called game changer. And I'm curious to hear what other people might have to think about that. Well, my last person, that leaves Zeke. And from this tribe, I can see him making it easily to the merge and maybe to the jury. But I don't know about him winning the game. With that all being said, though, it looks like a fantastic season. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what everyone else has to say. And I hope this is a great season, which is a standout for all of us and for years to come, hopefully. And that's all I got. I can't wait what other people have to say. And yay, Survivor's back. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
Good job, Jack. Yeah, Ty. Mark the chicken. There you go. There's a game changer. Mark the chicken. That's what Ty brought. That's as close as I can come.
Well, there's chickens already in this one. We've seen them.
Yeah, you can see them
coming
in
off
some of
the
the
boat,
preview videos, right? Yeah, he may have a new mark. Next up, we got an email from Brandon in Brooklyn. Hey, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. I'm so happy for the return of Survivor. I'm not exactly thrilled with all the cast members, but I'm happy for the most part with the cast. I really didn't want to see Caleb, Sierra Dawn Thomas, a.k.a. SDT, and Brad Culpepper back. I know Brad can't win the game, but SDT and Caleb unfortunately will go far in this game. Caleb is dumb as he will follow another strategic player and be their puppet. I have Least Mode Cowboy going to the merge because he's loyal and he is an asset for the challenges. I like that. That was good.
Least Mode instead of Beast Mode.
Yeah. Hopefully he will be smart enough to drink water. I really don't want to see SDT because she complained about being in a sucky alliance and didn't do anything to change the game or gain any respect. She just rode the majority alliance and then got voted out. She'll make the merge easily because she's quiet and inoffensive. The cast members I'm excited to see back are Malcolm, Michaela, Sarah, Tony, Sierra, Sari, and Sandra. I like Malcolm, but I wasn't on the bandwagon in his first 2 seasons. But since he is a little bit older, I think he's ready to finally do the dirty work to win the game. He watched how Jeremy won, and he can figure out another similar strategy that can work for him. I'm excited to see Michaela because she was so good in the challenges, and I feel like her Survivor potential hasn't even scratched the surface. I'm so happy to see Sarah back. She's extremely lucky because Cass isn't back on this season to fight with her. There you go. Cass was her undoing. She saw how Tony won, and hopefully she can focus on playing the game and winning the game. My only concern is if Sarah starts lying, will she be able to have the respect of the jury if she makes it to the finals? I think Sandra, Tony, and Sari can have a big target early in the game because of their Survivor resume. Since Tony and Sandra are on the same tribe, they better hope their tribes can win plenty of the early immunity challenges just so they can have a chance to form bonds and build alliances. I'm not sure how it's going to go with the rest of the cast. I think it depends on which tribe can win immunity and who can adapt the best. It'll be interesting to see how alliances are formed. I think we can have a potential for a guys' alliance and a girls' alliance. As for my USB, I'm deciding between Malcolm, Michaela, and Sarah. My sleeper pick on who can do well is Troyzan. I know a lot of people didn't like how he acted before. I still feel he can play this game at a high level. He found an idol and he had enough strategy in the game. Hopefully he can remain calm and not lose his cool. I can't wait to see what the other people think. See you later. Thanks, Brandon. Next up, we got a call from Marla and Sarah.
Yay.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, Survivor friends. This is Marla.
And this is Sarah.
With our first impressions. For Sarah, it's truly Jabik because she hasn't seen some of these books before, and I have seen them, and I think I remember most of their names. All right, Sarah, who do you like from the Naku tribe?
Oh, I like Zeke and Ty.
Yes.
And
how about this is Ozzy. What do you think of him?
Ozzy has wet hair.
He has wet hair. He looks like he could get the man bun going. So he might be a favorite of yours.
Yeah.
And Sari looks like the principal of your school.
And her.
Sierra. Yes, Sierra.
And her.
Andrea. Pretty. Yeah, she's pretty. She's got a cute bathing suit. My objection to this season, by the way, is that there is Sierra, and Sarah, which is the kind of thing that happens to me when I'm teaching, and then it's hard for me to, I'll call them by the right name. Okay, so now we're on the Mana tribe. Who do you like from this cast? From this tribe, excuse me.
I like, I can't remember her name.
Oh, Aubrey. So cute. Where's her glasses?
Caleb.
Caleb.
And him.
Oh, Malcolm. All right, so if Caleb's voted out, maybe you could switch to Malcolm. Because look, Man Bun. Your favorite.
And,
Michaela. I love Michaela, too. Yes, and Haley always has cute bathing suits that you're a fan of. And I'm a fan of Jeff and Sandra. So I think we might be rooting for the Mana tribe very much. All right, so now I'm going to tell this crazy story really quickly that I was on Facebook, which I never ever go on because I'm a Facebook dropout. But I wanted to post a little video of Sarah doing some gymnastics. And then I thought, I'm going to noodle around and try to find Becca because they live in Illinois like we do. And I thought, hey, maybe we could see each other or they could come to one of Sarah's meets because I thought that would be really maybe fun for Liam and Caroline, who's going to start doing gymnastics. So I looked and I saw that Becca had 2 friends in common that I also had. And I thought, well, that is strange because they're not Survivor friends. And then I realized, what did I realize?
That Becca was your student.
Becca was my student when she went to the college that I teach at, which I have been teaching for a long time, and I've had probably over 2,000 students, so I don't remember everyone specifically. But Becca, sweet Becca, remembered that one day I bit on a piece of popcorn and cracked my tooth, and I told some students about it when I was leaving. So now Becca and I are chatting, and we wish we lived closer to each other in Illinois because I would really love to see her even more now that I realize she's my former student. So that is a crazy coincidence. Joanne and Stacy, thanks for all you do. We'll talk to you soon, Survivor friends, and have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
Awesome. What a small world.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And we enjoyed your cast assessment, too.
And Sarah's video.
Yeah, completely different
awesome
take
job,
on some
Sarah.
of them. Excellent. Next up, we got a call from Drew and his crew, Charlie and Adelaide.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew, and what's your name? What's your name? Charlie and Adelaide. We're here on a Saturday morning doing a quick on the grill. So we got stuff to do today, so I'm just going to jump right into it. But I got to say, I'm actually really looking forward to a returning players season. Of course, I don't really like all of the players they picked, and some of them make me scratch my head, but I'm still just kind of, into it. I think that the returning players thing, a lot of people complain about it, but it changes the dynamic so much, and things become, in some ways, even more unpredictable, even though it seems like you'd be able to guess how everyone's going to do. And sometimes they do exactly the same. But anyway, I'm going on and on, so I'm going to jump in. Aubrey, Merge, Caleb. Oh, he totally has something to prove, and I think they're going to let him for a while. So Merge, Jury, Sierra, no Merge, Haley, no Merge, Jeff, sorry, Stacy, no Merge. I don't think he has it in him anymore. I'm surprised to see him again. Malcolm, I'm always a fan of Malcolm. He always disappoints me, but I can't help it. Now, I guess I know how Stacy feels about Jeff. But anyway, I'm going to say Merge, maybe Final Four. He might even be my USB just because I cannot imagine picking anyone else. Michaela, Merge, and Jury. Sandra, wild card. Totally Merge. I'm going to say Final Four just because I think she has it in her. Tony, maybe wishful thinking, but I'm going to say no Merge. Troy. Yeah, I'm going to say no Merge for him too. Andrea, no Merge. Brad, no Merge. I think he might be first out, in fact. Suri, Merge. Almost Final Four. Jury. Debbie, Merge. Jury. JT, Merge. When I asked Charlie who was going to win, he pointed to Ozzy, but I don't know. I got to tell you guys, the more I see of Ozzy, the more skeezy he seems to me, so I'm just not a big fan of Ozzy anymore, so I think he'll probably make the Merge, but I'm going to say no Merge just because I don't really care for him anymore, and I don't think he has a lot of love from his teammates. So Sarah, no Merge. Sierra Dawn, Merge. Ty, Merge just because somehow he does it, and Zeke, I'm going to say no Merge because I don't think he can keep his game together, and anyway, who knows how many I had in the Merge, but I got to say a Final Four, so I'm going to say Malcolm, Sandra, Michaela. I had her in the Jury, I think, but I'm going to say Final Four. No. Malcolm, Sandra, Sarah, why not, and Suri. Wouldn't it be fun to see her and Sandra go head-to-head in the finals? That'd be interesting. Yes. So I'm going to say those for the Final Four, and I'm going to say Malcolm for the win. And I'm going to say Brad for first out. And the ones I'm most looking forward to redeeming themselves are JT, because, come on, and Aubrey, because I think she just kind of got robbed there in the end. So, looking forward to a great season. Charlie, what do you think? Are you excited? Yeah. Baby, are you excited? Yeah. Yeah. They were both pretty excited when I said we had a recording to do this morning. Okay, talk to you all later. Have a great weekend. Oh, and P.S., count me in on the side challenge. I mean, why not? I'm feeling kind of lucky lately. Bye.
All right.
Bold. All
Way
right.
to go, Drew.
Good for you.
And I like your choices.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Adelaide. Next up, we got a call from Kenny.
Hey guys, it's Kenny from Dallas. I'm looking forward to this season. It seems to be the strongest cast since Heroes versus Villains, which up to date has been one of my top 3 or 4 seasons. I'm hoping for something just like that. As for picking a potential winner, I don't know. I think I'm picking for someone who hasn't won before, but I think has potential. Maybe Zeke. Sarah, I know, imploded, but I think Sarah has game. Nicola, if she doesn't get so hot-tempered, I think she has a chance, too. I do need to bring one thing up. Sandra will most likely be voted out early. They've got to be out of their minds to let her play more than 2 or 3 episodes. When the question comes, who are the best survivors of all time, how can we not have Sandra at or very, very near the top? True, she may not have what appears to be great strategic gameplay, but maybe this stuff isn't really brain surgery or fetal surgery or any kind of surgery. Maybe it's just a game, and she happened to be the best player both seasons, and with some luck, she played only 2 times, and she won both times. My goodness, Rob Mariano was supposed to be one of the greatest players of all time. He probably should have won Survivor All-Stars, but it took him 4 times to win, and the 4th time he played against a bunch of weasels and stooges. Sandra must have more to her game than we realized, and I think that Sandra just doesn't get the appreciation she deserves. I thought that Parvati should have won Heroes versus Villain, but I hope that Sandra does something this season which gets her further along, which maybe puts light on her skills she must have. As for the other winners, JT self-destructed during Heroes versus Villain, and Tony is one of my favorite survivors ever. I hope he goes far. I don't see how he can. He must have a huge target on his back. I'm going for Zeke, Michaela, or Sarah right now. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Kenny. We're seeing how all that pans out. Next up, we got an email from Rashmi in Perth, Australia.
Dear Joanne and Stacy and all my Survivor friends, I'm so looking forward to a brand new season. However, sadly, my Minot will not be with me to watch as well. We always watch TV together in the evenings. I am feeling a bit fragile. However, I am sending a short message to touch base with all my friends. We're sorry for your loss, and we understand more now that we have a cat. I have still not made up my mind about my USB. However, I am dithering between Troyzanne, Joanne, and Sarah. She was my USB in her season, and maybe even JT. I would love to have gone with Sandra again this time, but I feel she is going to be a huge target for first out. Tony is also in the same boat. I am so sad Natalie Anderson, my favorite, is not in this season. Does anyone know why she dropped out at the last minute?
I haven't seen
anything either. Yeah. I am looking forward to see Jeff, Michaela, Debbie, and Aubrey. I think Brad will be fun. I just cannot remember Sierra T. I must apologize to all the fans, but I am just so over Ozzy and Sari. Gosh, they have already played 4 times. Give someone else a go. On that note, I better give another fan a go on Joanne and Stacy's show. Cheers. All right. Thanks, Rashmi, and we are sorry for your loss.
Yep. Next up, got a call from Jody. Another one from Australia.
That's right.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey. It's Jody from Brisbane. I've got a couple of seconds while I wait for my son to get off the bus, so I thought I might throw my hat in the ring. Oh, here it comes. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It's about an hour and a half later, and I found some more minutes while I'm sitting at my kids' footy practice in the car dodging the other mums. So I am so looking forward to this season. I know a lot of people don't like returning seasons, but I'm pretty chuffed with what we've got on offer here. I am crazy excited to see Sandra and Sari again, and Troyzanne. I didn't think I'd be excited to see Troyzanne, but I kind of am. And Tony, hello, amazing Tony is back. I thought my kids would be super psyched to see Ozzy is returning, and I showed them a picture. I'm like, look, Ozzy's back. And they were like, yeah, that's amazing. And then they're like, whoa, what happened to him? And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, he got really old. So that was funny. Yeah, a couple of these people, I'm not exactly sure why they're back, but you know, we need some good cannon fodder, so it would be heartbreaking to watch an amazing person go home every week, so we'll get a bit of relief from the emotional woo. I'm not sure who I'm going to back, but I feel like I want Sandra to go 3 deep. I really feel like that would just be so amazing if people let her get that far. And I think it's totally possible. There are so many threats, there's so many big characters, and everyone's got, gameplay, and everyone's just dangerous. So why not Sandra? So long as it's not her, right? And while we're at it, look, I'm going to throw my hat back in the ring. Let's put me on the side challenge. Why not? Surely nothing bad could happen. And yeah, got nothing intelligent to say about anyone, but just super, super excited. Joanne, I hope you're feeling better. And all the Facebook friends that just really looking forward to hearing everyone again. Okay. Ciao.
Thanks, Jody.
Yeah, thank you. Great to hear you again. Next up, we got a call from Rhonda. Rhonda's back, too.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, everyone. It's Ronda from Portland. I know you haven't heard from me in forever, and you've probably forgotten about me and forgotten who I am. So I have a few things to say before I get to my actual feedback, or not for whatever it's called. So, Joanne and Stacy, I missed your 1,000th episode anniversary, and I'm terribly sorry. I actually thought about it. I almost called in because I had actually kind of forgotten, or not forgotten, I'd stopped watching last season. But I was going to call in, and I had a time set aside and everything, and then I just didn't. And I blame me. So I apologize. It was that, it's really quite an accomplishment, and I just want to say congratulations on 1,000 and whatever else you've done. The next thing I want to get to is that I want to say hello to all of my family who has now started, they've always been watching, but have really turned this into a whole thing. And they're playing JSFL, and they have a side challenge on their own, and they're listening to Joanne and Stacy's podcast, although they're not calling in, and I would like to challenge them to start calling in anyway. And now on to this season. So I'm just going to talk about the people who don't make me angry, and that's very few of them. Let's see. So on the Red Tribe, I'm okay with Aubrey. I liked her. I love Jeff Varner, so I would enjoy seeing him play again. Love Malcolm, so he's okay. And I think he has a real good chance to win. And I adore Sandra, so I think she's, if she's not first out, she has a really good chance to win. And I like Michaela. And now on the Blue Tribe, what most of you who are longtime listeners probably know about me is that my favorite player of all time is Rob Sesternito. And then after that is a very, very, very close second is Suri. And I just lost the roster on my desktop. Oh my gosh. But I think that's probably it for my favorite, or for the people I'm going to talk about. Suri is absolutely fantastic, and I could not be more thrilled to see her play again. So I'm not going to play a JSFL, but if I were to play JSFL, she would absolutely be my USB. And I think that it's the greatest thing ever that she's playing again, and I am so happy to see her back. And I really hope that she does well, but I fear that she will not. And I think JT will be okay. So that's all I have to say. My time is up, and I'm excited, and I'm happy to be excited. So I will talk to you all next week. Okay, bye.
We're happy that you're excited about a season of Survivor again, too.
Yay.
Thanks, Rhonda. Next up, we got a call from Taz.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Taz in Louisiana. It's been a long time since I've left feedback, but I figured I'd add my 2 cents before the show starts this season. I'm all ready to go, but unfortunately, Paul and I will be sitting on a ship in the middle of the Caribbean Sea when the first show airs, so everybody feels sorry for me because we're going to miss the show, and we'll have to wait till we get home to be able to see it. I've been looking at the players this season, and of course we know pretty much all of them. A few, I don't have a clue who they are, but I'm just so sick and tired of returning players. Some of these people I like, but I've seen them so many times. They've had their chance. There's so many new, fresh faces out there who want to be on the show, and they just keep giving us these same old tired players over and over again. I think everyone that can hear my voice right now needs to go to CBS.com and send them a message and say, we've had it up to here with returning players. Well, anyway, that's my rant. But even though they are returning players, I think I will still enjoy the season. I know we have a couple of the returnees who don't have a clue why CBS called them back. Maybe it might be how they look in a bikini. I think that might have a lot to do with it. But then that doesn't explain Brad Culpepper. I never want to see that guy again. Anyway, hopefully he'll be an early out. And speaking of fresh new faces in the game, Stacy, I know you've been trying to get on the show for years and they just keep overlooking you. I have a surefire method for doing it. You just need to change your name to Sierra and maybe invent a catchy new spelling for it. You'll be a shoo-in, and we'll see you on the next season. During last season, Paul and I had our own little private challenge with some of our students that we teach stained glass to. So this year, to make it a little more challenging, everybody's going to put in $10, and the winner of the JSFL on our little side challenge gets the pot. Everybody wish me luck. Well, that's all I have to say for now. I hope everyone enjoys the season. I'll be watching the first episode on probably the Tuesday after it airs, so we'll have to get picks in early and see what happens. Well, that's my thoughts for the upcoming episode. This is Taz in Louisiana, over and out.
Awesome. Thanks, Taz. Great to hear from you again.
I smile the whole time just to hear his voice.
Good deal. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the plush moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanna and Stacy, spring is coming, the days are getting longer, and a new season of Survivor is almost here. As Pete from Boston would say, woohoo! I've listened to podcasts, watched videos, read interviews. Time to share some thoughts. I'm struggling to see some of these players as game changers. Jeff's definition is pretty broad, with the term basically meaning that the returnee tried something which did or didn't work, which describes Captain Obvious. If the players drink the game changer Kool-Aid, expect an outbreak of big move-itis and numerous attempts to change the game via blindsides, fake outs, some of which will fail spectacularly. If the producers want to encourage this behavior, they should stock the marooning supply boat with a selection of Acme products. Tony could store his in his spy shack. I hope we never get a returnee season called Survivor Heroes, as we might wind up watching Purple Willard from Palau repeatedly eating sandwiches again. In Sarah's video, when she talked about not being intimidated by four-time players, she quipped that being married 4 times doesn't make you an expert on marriage. Neither does being married 3 times, or twice. It'll be interesting to see how the idol hiding twist works out. It definitely sounds like it'll be harder for one player to keep collecting them like Pokemon. The producers should get Amazon to sponsor the season and deliver a hidden idol via drone, making Brett's prediction of idols flying through the air come true. Oh, that's cool. Aubrey's comment about tools in her toolbox got me thinking the winning strategy and tool set is whatever the winner used to negotiate that season's unique mix of players and twists and still get enough votes at Final Tribal. Just because your approach and skill set worked last time doesn't mean they'll do well this time. Tony, take note. On the other hand, strategies or personalities that didn't work on a prior season may find a sweet spot on this one. Aubrey comes to mind. Expect to see a Mobius strip of meat shields among the physical players. Expect to see the strategic players target each other early and often. Think spy versus spy. It'll be interesting to see how deep Michaela and Zeke can go. Putting immediate returnees on a season called Game Changers doesn't do them any favors. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks, Joanna and Stacy, for all you do. Can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks, Josh. Excellent as always. Entertaining.
Speaking of Captain Obvious, I loved seeing his audition video to be host for Survivor on Jimmy Fallon this week. I could not believe it. He was so young.
Oh,
and all the different outfits he had. Oh, my goodness.
Yep, good. All right, thanks, Josh. Next up, we got a call from Joe.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and all Survivor friends. Joe from Huntersville, North Carolina. We're back. First, Joanne, I was sorry to hear that you're experiencing health issues. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. So, Survivor Game Changers. If I just saw the cast without knowing the name, I would not have guessed Game Changers. I might have guessed Survivor Competitors, because they are a very competitive crew. But I don't see most of them as Game Changers. I'm sure a lot of people are making that observation. Regardless, I see Mana as a very strong tribe, but most of them have stabbed their teammates in the back. In the case of Tony and Sandra, multiple times. Michaela is my USB for this season. There should be a lot of headbutting on that tribe. Nuku seems like they will be more strategy, with the exception of Brad and Ozzy. But at the end of the day, Debbie will be the self-appointed leader of the tribe. I'm sure it's on her resume somewhere. My guess is that Big S Sierra is the first out. Well, that's my prognostication for this week. Let's see how wrong one person can be. Till next time, all be safe and well.
He meant S, the letter, hon.
Oh.
Thank you, Joe. Good one. Next up, we got a call from Mikeybear. Mikeybear's back.
Hi, Joanne and Stacey. It's Mikeybear from New Jersey. Happy New Year to both of you. Hope your holidays were great. I'm very excited about Game Changers. Can't wait. It's been too long since we've had Survivor on our TV. Let me get into some quick feedback here. I got to tell you, well, yes, I know no one's thrilled to see Haley again or Sierra Dawn Thomas. I really hope to God that Sierra Easton is one of the first to go. I think she's overrated. She always has been. And I'm so tired of hearing Jeff talk about she voted out her mother. Please be gone early. I am excited about a number of the players. I love the fact that Michaela's coming back. I love that they've got a good amount of people from Korong. That should be interesting to see how they do the second time around. I know Joanne's not a big fan of Troy Zan. I am looking forward to seeing him play because I think he's a really nice guy and he should be interesting TV. As much as I want to see Ozzy and Sandra do well and Sari, I'm sure they're going to have huge targets on their back, and I don't see it happen. What I do see happening is one of these people, just like what happened in All-Stars and Micronesia, you have someone who you kind of scratch your head and you wonder, like, really? They brought them back? And they wind up taking the whole darn thing. So I could see that being the case with Haley or Sierra Dawn Thomas, even someone like a Brad Culpepper. Granted, I don't think he has what it takes to win the game, but it wouldn't shock me to see him win. But I do want to see Ozzy do well. I do want to see Sandra do well. I mean, just because I know she has a lot of naysayers out there. Jeff Varner, I'm excited to see play again, just because I thought he was a great storyteller in Second Chances. It's just going to be a really good season. I've got good feelings about it. Debbie Wenner, oh my God, I can't wait to see her again, because I think she's hysterical TV. I'm sure she honestly believes that she's a game changer, so I think that's going to be great. JT will be fun. Tony will be fun. It's going to be a good season. Looking forward to hearing everyone's feedback. Glad to have you guys back, and can't wait until next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thanks, Mikey Bear. I'd like that. If there's anyone who firmly believes and when champion themselves in that context as being a game changer, Debbie's going to be in there saying that's awesome. Good deal. Thanks, Mikey Bear. Next up, we got a call from Jaywaffles.
Hello, Joanne and Stacey and all the Survivor fans at home. This is Jaywaffles from Canada, and I am so pleased to have Survivor and the Survivor Fans podcast back after a long, freezing winter. It is certainly nice to have a distraction from all the crazy things that have been going on in the world, and as the podcast is an integral part of my enjoyment of the show, I thank you for it. I have not paid much attention to the cast until just recently, so my feelings are a bit mixed as to the theme and who they chose for returning players. I won't discount that returning player seasons can be both fun and exciting to watch, but much like a sequel for a popular movie, it can end up as simply more of the same. Besides, Survivor is the original reality show filled with normal people in crazy circumstances. Why would they feel the need to go back to the well of returning players when there is an ocean of new players who would love a chance to play? Does CBS really think that Survivor alumni have that much of a presence to keep old fans while bringing new ones in? I suppose without returning player seasons, we would never see some amazing Survivor moments, but I still prefer a new cast without all the egos. And speaking of egos, I'll have to admit, this cast is not doing much for me. I seriously do not know who to pick for my USB. I think it is fair to say that the previous winners will have targets on their back, and the infamous players will be leveraged for their usefulness, and the questionable players will just be brought along like goats to the slaughter. I do like Michaela and Zeke's chances, as they are certainly wild cards, but maybe that's just my bias showing, as I liked them both in the last season. I think I'm going to have to wait and hear what everyone else has to say before I lock my choice down. I did have one question. What are the castaways allowed to bring or wear to the island? Maybe it's the Boy Scout in me, but if it were me, I'd be hitting up a few outdoor supply stores before heading out to the beach, and certainly be wearing a few layers. What do you guys think? Anyways, I'm looking forward to a great season. Thanks again for the podcast. Bye.
Thanks, Jaywaffles. Yeah, that question comes up a lot because you see all these impractical choices represented, especially when you got newbies out there. Sometimes the returnees sneak in something that's helpful to them.
I would layer every single day just in case they said, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, sorry.
Right. So Joanne brings up a good point. They don't know what day the game's going to start, so it's a bit of a surprise in that regard. The other thing is that they don't get to pick their clothes. They don't get to. They don't have the final say over what they get to have out there. So production tells them, hey, you're going to be on the red tribe, bring some clothes with red in them.
Well, they have to be sent ahead.
Yeah.
The clothes are sent ahead.
Yep. And so they get some kind of guidelines for color-wise what, and then they go through them, and like Joanne said, they get to choose what you have, so what options are available to you, and then they don't know which day exactly the game's going to start.
That's why I said I would never send anything that I didn't want to, I would just not send it. Anything that of course they might make them send, so many of this and so many, I don't know about, I've never seen.
Yeah, I think they
never
give
seen
them
the
guidance
list,
on
but
what to cover.
But
that
if you only
represents
sent them things, it
that
would be
person and who they see them at the start of the game. Good deal. Thanks, Jaywaffles. I'm sure other folks will have that question, so it's good to go over it every once in a while. Next up, we got an email from Doreese in California.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. So nice to hear your voices, and I'm happy to share the Survivor experience with everyone again. Welcome back, Doreese. I missed Stacy's rating system, so I developed my own very simplified system for this season. I identified one underestimated but articulate person capable of strategic thinking, one nice but non-threatening goat that lacks self-awareness, and one annoying goat that lacks self-awareness. This system produced a final three of Haley, Sierra Dawn, and Troyzan or Brad Culpepper. Yikes.
Interesting. Okay.
But my heart of heart wants Jeff, Malcolm, Michaela, or Sandra to win. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Doreese.
Yeah, boy. I hope it's a flawed system, Doreese. I'm sorry.
Good deal. Next up, we got an audio from Jeremiah.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. Hello, Survivor fans. This is Jeremiah Panworst here, coming to you from Southern California with my portion of the On the Grill for this season of Survivor Game Changers. First of all, I cannot help get excited about the fact that Survivor is back, and most importantly, Survivor Fan Podcast, of course, is back. It's great to hear you guys' voices again. Joanne, I'm sorry to hear that you had a rough off-season, but hopefully you're feeling better now and ready to talk some Survivor. Now, obviously, the first thing everyone's talking about is this theme of game changers. Now, I like the theme idea, but as we all know, a lot of these players are not game changers. But some of them may have potential to become game changers, and I'm really hopeful that this will be a very good season. I would have definitely preferred for them to wait a little longer to have a, all-returning season, but hey, usually they're pretty good, so I'm excited to see what happens. But they have a lot to prove, because the last few all-new people seasons have been really good, and especially last season I really enjoyed a lot. So Survivor has its work cut out for me to prove me that this is going to be good, so fingers crossed. But yes, I do not get caught up too much in the whole theme, but I definitely am excited about some of these returnees, and obviously some of them I'm not. Joanne, you'll be glad to know that I am not happy to see Brad Culpepper whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense to even bring him back, but whatever. But yeah, some of these players I'm really pumped about. I thought it would be fun this season to just go ahead and give you my current power rankings. So obviously the people towards the top are my favorites, my final fours, and then of course any ones that towards the top, of course, make the merge, and everybody else I'm kind of iffy about. So here we go. Here is my current power ranking, starting even with number 1. So number 1, I have Suri. Number 2, I have Malcolm. 3, Aubrey. 4, Tony. 5, Jeff Varner. 6, Zeke. 7, Saundra, because she's the queen, can't leave her out. 8, JT. 9, Michaela. 10, Sarah. 11, Ozzy. 12, Ty. 13, Andrea, 14, Troyzan, 15, Caleb, 16, Sierra, and of course that's the one vote on her mother, and 17, Debbie, 18, Haley Ford, 19, fan favorite Sierra Dawn Thomas, and at the very bottom, Joanne, you'll be happy to see Brad Culpepper. Ugh. All right, so there's my power rankings for this season. I'm sure I'll change my mind as far as who I think is going to win, but I would sure love to see Suri win. That would be awesome. And of course, Stacy, I am on for the side challenge. I can't wait to destroy you and the rest of the challengees. And it's going to be a fun season. Can't wait to talk about it. I cannot wait, of course, to hear what the other super fans have to say. I love you guys all. And by the way, Sandy and Georgia, I'm praying for you, girl. All right, well, that's it for me. This is Jeremiah. Until next time.
Awesome. Great job, Jeremiah.
All right.
Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul in Louisiana here, and it's great to be back. Now, I'm going to be honest and state right off that I'm old, and although I'm a fan of the show, the term superfan is definitely overdoing it with me because my memory of all these players is rather lacking at times, as you will soon see, or hear. First off, I want to address the notion that a player can change. Although it happens, I think it's the exception rather than the norm. I tend to believe that a leopard can't change its spots, so when these players state that they're going to play differently, I tend to take that with a grain of salt. Okay, now let's head straight to the embarrassing part. Haley, Andrea, Sarah, and Sierra T are all drawing blanks from me. I do recall the faces, but they must have been pretty bland players, so let's just take them out of my list of contenders. I'm thinking that they aren't here for their past gameplay so much as they are for their game form. And by game form, I mean how they fill out a two-piece swimsuit. And the only reason I can recall Sierra E is because she told us over and over and over again that she voted off her mom. More than anything else, I recall the story of it. And that's why I'm writing these women off as winners or mergers. And I'm going to put Troy Zan in the no merge also, only because I recall him thinking that he was a better player than he was. Okay then, let's get to the meat of the matter. Ozzy and Suri. Great players, but haven't they played 3 times already? I'm over it, and everyone knows their game by now. Suri is one of my favorite players. In fact, I'll go so far as to say she is my favorite player. But I think it's going to go to someone else this season. Same with Ozzy. Caleb is here almost as a first-time player. I started off disliking him, but by the time he was medevaced out, I liked him a lot. He's a possibility. Zeke, Aubrey, and Michaela, I love them all, and I'm currently leaning towards Michaela as my USB. These 3 will make the merge. I suspect our previous winners will be taken pretty far in the game because none of these players would actually vote for them to win again, would they? And since they are strong players, they're great to keep beside you. They can almost be used as a goat of sorts because I just can't see any of them winning again. I'm in the minority here now, but I'll admit it. I don't care for Jeff. I don't think he's going to make the merge. I do like Malcolm, and I think he will make the merge, but then be voted off quickly. Brad? No merge. Debbie, too. In fact, she's my first off pick. I can't wait to see how ripped she is when the season starts, though. And Ty, although I like him, he's too wishy-washy in his gameplay, so I just can't take him seriously. So who will it be then? Well, my USB will either be Zeke, Aubrey, Michaela, or possibly Caleb. Relatively new players, huh? You got that right. But if Suri wins, I will jump up and down with joy because she is my Survivor idol. I love her, but she's got a target, and it's a big one. I'm guessing that I'm going to go with Michaela, but that may change before I head out tomorrow. Which brings me to the point that I am going to miss the premiere because I'll be cruising this week. I will return the following Sunday, though, and get back into the thick of things here. So everyone enjoy the show. I'll catch y'all in 2 weeks. Bye.
We'll miss you, but have a great time.
Yeah, you guys have a great vacation.
Right. Well, I kind of feel like for Caleb, I don't really know his gameplay. I don't feel like we got to see
didn't get
enough.
enough to know. There was he said some things in his exit interview that made you think that he was playing more of a strategic game than they showed us, because they didn't show us, right?
Yeah.
They spent more on the funny moments between him and Ty than they did
Right.
on anything strategic for him. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I kind of think he'll have game, but I don't really know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. With Suri, that's we were talking about that before we started recording. It's not so much that she's a legend in the game; she's more notorious, and that notoriety of her gameplay is probably
Those
going
were your words, not mine.
work against her. I thought you agreed.
Not necessarily.
You think that she's legend?
I think she's a legend.
Oh, she doesn't have legendary status for me, but certainly
does
she's
for me.
notorious.
The fact
I love watching her play.
To watch her talk Eric into...
She doesn't get enough credit for that.
I'll trust you if you were to give up that. And he did that.
If you would
and she
give
just
in
did it
to
so
those
sincerely.
women. Yeah, they've wrapped around their
Makes
finger.
her a legend in my mind.
Okay, so that's more notorious.
No. I just usually let you think
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, that's a good plan. Let's stick
that
with
makes
that.
life easier.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any breakthroughs, any insights? You struck with a beam of wisdom on your prediction for who you're going to go with on your USB?
I think, no,
I
but
appreciated all the different
I think
perspectives.
I'm narrowing it down a little bit. And I may just go with, somebody fun to cheer for.
Mm-hmm. So that means you're leaning towards Sandra or Cherie.
I don't think
They would be
Cherie
most
can
fun?
get there. I think Sandra would be fun to see her for me.
Mm-hmm.
And in one respect, just because I like Sandra. But there's a lot of others that I could see getting there. Aubrey being one of them, even though that's kind of counterintuitive because so many people are saying, oh, but we should get rid of Aubrey, and she's so... but I somehow think she's going to make it through because of all the other targets. And I can't help but cheer for Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's going to have the game play to do it, but I just kind of think he could. So I think he could win as well.
I think it's possible in the right circumstances. These are very challenging circumstances.
Very.
Whoever wins in a season like this has probably earned it for sure.
And I'm sorry,
I don't think
just
they've
love
lucked
JT,
into it.
So,
he's also probably the most likely to go on his tribe first.
He could be, but I've almost changed that to...
He's already won, let's just get rid of him.
So I hope that's not it. I'd rather see... I'd even rather see Debbie or Ty or, who I'd really prefer.
Sure.
But Brad or Andrea, or even Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see who the two legends are that go up against
start
each
battling.
other.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the 2 hours to kick it off and two tribal councils. Anything else you want to say?
Nope. Let's get our business done.
Okay. So, that starts with saying, hey, thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts, predictions, share how you see the world through the eyes of this game, right? It takes some effort, and Paul was saying he wasn't a super fan. You're absolutely a super fan. Super fan, someone who takes the time to record their thoughts on each week about what's going to happen in the show, that pauses enough to do that, to be in a podcast. Everybody, you do something before the season starts and you're contributing, you're absolutely a super fan. This is a podcast for the fans, and we're just full of super fans. So we want to say a big thanks to everybody who did participate. Thanks for that, and we hope this will help you with your JSFL picks for episode 1, which is 2 hours.
Yay!
Yeah.
We'd also like to thank...
Okay. It's okay.
I'd also like to thank Nan Sereno for your review on iTunes. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Also, a big thanks to Emily, Christy, and Catherine for your continued support of the podcast through your subscription donations. That's also greatly appreciated.
Yeah, goes towards our operational costs. Thank you. And if you want to play JSFL with us, which we recommend, make sure to register and get your picks in before 7:30 p.m. Eastern Wednesday, March 8th, which is when the site will lock down for the start of the season, and no one else will be allowed to join after this deadline. If you haven't played before, make sure to check out the rules. There's a link there on the site to understand how the game's played, and because it's 2 hours, you'll need to select 2 vote-offs, like we mentioned at the top of the show. 2 people you think are going to get voted out in these first 2 episodes, the first 2 hours. You're also going to need to choose 4 safe picks and 1 4 points, the person you think at this point, before the episodes have even aired, who do you think is going to win it all? Thanks again, Steve, for creating and maintaining that website that makes all this possible.
And I'm going to just say this one more time. Every season we have people who start out with no USB 24 because they forgot to click submit. So do not be one of these people this season. After choosing your USB 24, their name should be in bold italics on the inner picks page. If they are not, you do not have a USB 24.
It's that simple. If you want to be in on the side challenge for JSFL with me, you need to send us an email telling us that you want to join it before the first episode airs. But remember, if you lose this challenge, you'll be required to perform something chosen by the winner of the side challenge, and we'll only add you to the list if we get an email.
And right now we have BrandonA, Cold Mike, Nina, Parker, Drew, Jody, Jeremiah, and Stace.
Yeah, all right. Looking forward to that, too. It's an extra little bit of anxiety every week to help you with your pick.
And if you haven't checked out Paul's roster, be sure to check it out on our website. You can click on a link
there
to that.
To it. We got several ways that you can reach us each week, and if you have questions, you can call the voicemail, or you want to make a comment, provide feedback on the show, that's available too. So the email's joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. The voicemail line 206-350-1547. We've got a new toll-free number, 844-643-8737. And you're always welcome to record it yourself and send it along as an attachment to the email.
All right. Good luck to everybody with your choices in JSFL. I'm still plotting.
And we will be back with our recap of the first episode on Wednesday, and then we'll have a couple of interviews for you on Thursday, and then we'll get you all back together so you can share your thoughts on that first 2-hour episode.
I'm excited now. I have a lot more information to think about to actually make choices.
Yeah, I definitely started looking at Haley and Sierra Dawn Thomas in a different light based on the feedback.
Yeah, I definitely think they have a shot, but I don't know that I would choose them just because
they're classic in the middle.
Don't make it so.
Because you don't want that to be it. There's so many other people you want.
Though I might after I watch them play.
Yep.
I remember liking Haley.
Yeah, you say that. I don't remember particularly liking
her. In the
her.
beginning I did until I felt like she kind of quit playing. You know, when
she did totally give up. And I think that probably skewed everything about whatever she did before it for me.
You remembered, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not big on people who bail on the game once they get out there. Good deal. Thanks again, everyone. Have a good one.